So we're planning instruction for an SEL intervention, and one critical question is what length or timeline we're working with. So on the left side, you see short-term and cyclical, and this is typically only seen in tier 2 interventions. And we're talking about like 6 to 8 weeks is a good ballpark. So an example would be a friendship skills group in an elementary school. So we pull together a cohort of students who need work on friendship related skills. And me as the interventionist, I'm going to work through a 6-week defined sequence of lessons and activities. It's a very predictable dosage that we've mapped out, and I work through it over those 6 weeks with that group. And then when we're done, those students they're done with that friendship group and that program. So they're either going to stop receiving an intervention or they're going to receive a different intervention. But me as the interventionist, I say goodbye, more or less, and then I'm going to start with a new cohort of students running that same program. Another example, maybe at a high school, would be for our ninth graders. For one term or marking period, they get an organizational skills course. So they learn time management skills and material management skills. So they get this concentrated dosage of those skills. And then when we're done again, we're done. So they're done with that course. So the advantage is that for the interventionist, you're going to get really good at that very quickly because it's so predictable and set, and you repeat it, you're going to learn quickly how to do it really well. And then the school knows that that is a very defined, predictable dosage of content. And if we don't see the results we're looking for, it's easier to adjust it because we know it so well. Now on the right side, we have long term, which we're talking about months or years, an indefinite amount of time potentially. And this could be how the school organizes some tier 2 interventions they have. We're not saying that once we pass the 8-week mark, you're not in tier 2 land anymore. That's not the case. It's just not that black and white. But this is definitely what you're going to see when we talk about tier 3 individualized intensive interventions for gen ed students, and then also special education. This is absolutely how special education services work. So we're long term. And say that I'm a special education teacher working in middle school, I might work with Ben in his 6th grade year all the way up through 8th grade. So multiple years of working with Ben. He's going to change groups, which groups of students he's with over those years for sure. But I'm going to be working with that student for 3 years. So you can see the massive difference in how I have to plan my instruction when I'm talking about, the 6 to 8 week on the left side predictable dosage, and then I immediately turn around and repeat the same lessons and activities with the new students versus working with Ben on the right side for a year or multiple years.